Alright, holy shit. This is the penultimate Ranger's Apprentice book. It has been a long while. And this might be my favorite Ranger's Apprentice book. Now, does this mean that it is the next one we're going to be reading and looking at will be the final one? Oh no, we have Brother Band. This is the second to last one in the main series, or the first series, or whatever you want to call it. And this is coincidentally also my favorite book in the series. Now, on the story graph, this book stands at a, let's move the cable, respectable 420, nice, out of 5, with almost 4,000 reviews. And when you think about this being the 10th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, so 10th book in the series, it's pretty darn good. Oh wait, is it not the penultimate? Lost Stories run isn't Royal Ranger from another? I don't know. Okay, never mind. It might not be the penultimate. Now, given it is the 10th book, the fact that it has 4,000 reviews is pretty awesome, and it's such a high score. Now, pacing, people are saying it's literally a coin flip between being fast and medium paced. I definitely think that is about right. It is a slow, fast paced book or a fast, medium paced, if that makes any sense at all. Plot or character driven, people are saying nearly, again, it's a 60-40 between being plot and a mix of plot and character. And I think, yeah, because the plot is driving the overall story, but the characters are driving the beats we're going to go through. So I think that is pretty accurate. Are we looking at strong character development? People are saying yes. I am not sure where. I don't feel like there's any major character development here. Because the Emperor doesn't change. I guess the Kikori changes? I guess? I don't know. Maybe. Lovable characters. 95% says yes. I do absolutely agree. And finally, diverse cast of characters, I would say yes, as always. And it's always our usual guys. Now, let's talk about the cover for this edition here. This is probably the edition I have that is still within the type as all the others. We still have the half bow thing here. We still have some pattern. Same here, person on the front, Ranger's Apprentice, name, all that. Like, it still has the base. It's just not this brown gray pattern anymore. Now it's this green instead of the entire cover. I don't know. I think this is a nice looking cover. I love the green. I think the green is an awesome color choice. It's bold. It's different. I'm not a fan of guy on front. Like any other Ranger's Apprentice book, I think it's a little underboring. Still love the font. I still think the font of Ranger's Apprentice covers are amazing. The cover, pretty decent. Not anything special, to be honest. It is exactly what you expect. So let's talk about the story. For the first half of the book, we're gonna literally be splitting in half, more or less ish. As always with these books, it starts off with Will being on like a side quest that has absolutely nothing to do with the story, but does set up important details for later. So in this case, Will is with Alice and Holt in Toscana to learn, to sign a deal between Toscana and Aridi, who is always at war, and these are of course our Roman Empire and our Middle Eastern Empire. When Evelyn comes and goes, we're in problem. We need to save Horace. George sent a message, and we need to save Horace. Basically, I like this. I always love that start here because it starts directly with some action, something new, something interesting going on. But we know John Flanagan is gonna call back to it right, like at some point. We're not gonna be shown this for nothing. It's not just world building. Well, it is, but it's also adding to the story we're gonna be reading. So we know something we've been told here is important, and it is a children's book, so he's not hiding it. It is definitely the Toscanan way of fighting against enemies who fight one-on-one, where they use like teamwork. So Now, we get an ensemble of great characters because we also get a return of the Scandians. Not the Oberjarl, I don't remember his name right now, but we do get Gondar. Yeah, Gondar, the old first mate of the Oberjarl. We don't get Tuck though, the horse, or Ebony the dog. We don't get any of the animals because we're traveling around the world, and they did not expect to need to do that, so there's no need for it, which is a shame. To be honest, they are important characters. I think Tuck and Ebony add so much to Will. I think they make him way more well-rounded, and they add a lot of comedy. But it's okay. We then get a lot of fun sailing. It's, as always, we get some advancement. We see time passes, new sail type. It's pretty cool description from here on, which is from the Brother Bands. Basically, the type of sail they invent in. Is it the Outcasts? I think it's in Outcasts. They in Broadband Chronicles, they invent this new type of sail that Gondar is then using. So again, it's a pretty neat way of tying things together. Now, they also get attacked by pirates, and I really like how that is handled in a very simple, quick way. And again, we see them, as we do often, we see Holt thinking, alright, what are we doing in the future? In this case, we are not gonna make the entire boat sink, because if we do that, then the people will not know about them. Now the ship can go back to harbor, and the rumor can spread that Scandians are in the ocean. Stay the fuck away. Pretty awesome. All the while, Horace is traveling with the Emperor Shigeru of Nihon-Ja. Nihon-Ja is our Japan, basically. Learning about the culture, trying to escape. It is actually really, really interesting. It's really fun to read, because we get to see so much of the culture, so many different ways. We see how, like, intuitive ways of escaping. It's not, alright, let's just meet them head on, let's fight, we have to run away. And we get to see Horace use his knowledge of strategy to be intuitive, because that's something in all the other books, and it is also pointed out here. Horace is not a very strategic, innovative guy. He is way more, here are the facts, here's what I learned, here's what I've done before, so this, I know this works, so I'm gonna do that. But we get to see, like, the rope fight, like the bridge fight, him tying himself to a rope and then fight out, knowing the bridge is gonna collapse. Like, all of that is awesome. And also, Horace is a great character, and Shigeru is super interesting, and I love we get these two converging stories. Like, it's clear they're gonna be converging, but when, how, where, we don't know. We also get where, like, Evelyn and Alice working together. I guess that's where the character development comes. We'll get to that. Who, like, Alice never really liked Evelyn because of, she thinks Evelyn is in love with Will when it's Horace she's in love with. So, but I mainly just think it's great the two girls get stuff. We get more of the characters. I wish George, the lawyer person here, he is in the start of the book, and then he's kind of getting sidelined after he sent for help. It would have been fun to see him meet up with the group, working with them, and I don't know, working more like a diplomatic, because he understands the country more than any of the other do. So that would have been really fun and interesting. And then, of course, like, the entire sailing part, like, we get, after the pirates, we sail up to Ivanai, the main island George wrote from. And here we get a bit more of the culture. We learn a bit more about how things work, and then we sail further up. And that's kind of our entire section 1. So let's talk about section 2, which is when we make landfall on that one remote island area, and we meet up with Shigeru and Horace in this old, dilapidated fort, who is supposedly impenetrable. But we will talk about that in a second. The teams have met up, and we're getting to see they're trying to figure out how to win this war that's basically impossible to win. And the very first thought is, alright, we have this advanced army. Let's goad them into attacking us. So they find out they basically have a wall. If you can go I imagine it's kind of like this. And then here it has a weak spot. So they make a U shape behind it. So attack here, penetrate, shit, you're stuck. Really fucking smart tactic by Holt. Really interesting to read. Because what John Flanagan does really well is use unique strategies for all his battles. Like every book has a different type of strategy. It's never just two army meeting, clashing, fighting. It's always some really interesting tactical stuff going on to create an advantage for when the two armies are meeting and fighting each other. And this fight battle, of course, goes really, really well. And then we have the Kikuro fighting from the walls, shooting down, and it just works. And it's kind of an interesting fight to me. Because you have these, the way the Kikuro is written, in my head, I know they're humans and they're people, but I always imagine them as being different species almost. I don't know. It's written almost as if they aren't humans in the same classical way, even though nothing in the book indicates they're not. I mean, they are humans. But they gain, of course, their confidence, and Will, he gets a great idea from watching the Tuscanan, how they do the Roman lead Centauri fighting stance, turtle and all that. And he realized, wait, we can use this here because we have a bunch of people used to working together easily. Now let's have them use this simple tactic instead of teaching them complex one-on-one techniques. Let's just use simple techniques that can go along each other. So of course we do this, and then they're gonna attack again the remaining front-facing force, just to get some confidence into these guys, because they have been submissive all their life. They've been taught you are below the senshi, which are the samurais. So of course they're gonna be skeptical, but their emperor believes in them, and they fight and they win, and they're all proud. Of course now the enemy knows the tactics, so they can't just do that. And all this is going on. This is Will, this is Horace, and this is the guy from Aridi. I don't remember his name right now. I really don't, honestly, I don't remember his name right now. They call him Hawk because of his nose. And that's the thing, all of them get, except for Holt and Alice and Evelyn, get nicknames. So, not even all of them, but some of them do. I wish more of them got. So, we'll get the name Cucho, or Chucho, I think. The guy from Aridia, he gets something meaning hawk. I don't remember what's the Japanese word. And Will means butterfly, and Horace get Kurokama or something like that, which means black bear. And none of them are for any logical reasons, not for fighting powers. So the guy from Aridia, I really don't remember his name. It really, really annoys me. It doesn't even say on the backside. That's annoying. So he gets it because his nose is hooked, so it looks like a bird's beak. Horace is called Black Bear because he eats like a black bear. And Will gets, in my opinion, most flattering, because the way he thinks, his mind goes all over the place to get good ideas, and that's what they say, kind of like a butterfly flying around, which is great. Now, while the guys are preparing for war, the girls are doing nothing, and this is something really awesome about these books here for children. Flanagan doesn't let the girls just do nothing and be looking all pretty. No, he's like, all right, let's have them do something. Well, we know there's this army or people up north who are loyal subjects in theory, but they are solitary, so no one really knows about them except for their lore, like the guy who's in charge, who sometimes comes. It's a bit weird, it's a bit contrived, but alright, we can buy it. And the girls are like, we can go, we can sail on this kayak that we have the wood builders make us. And what's great about it is that it's just the two girls, just Evelyn, it's just Alice, who don't really like each other, who then gets to learn to work together, and it's adds a lot of dynamic. It suddenly we get the story split up, the pacing works out better for it, but we also don't just have girls sitting around looking pretty. They are valuable. Now they go talking to their lord, and he's like, I really want to, but I can't because the people have to go through this forest, and they're afraid of it because of a demon. Never mind, they could just sail across the lake if we don't mention if they have boats or not. So, I mean, so I guess we could say they don't have boats, but that would have been easy enough to just mention, oh yeah, and we don't really have any boats that could transport enough people. Now, this demon is then realized to be a giant winter tiger, ice tiger thing, and they fight it and they win and they kill it, and it is awesome. It's epic. The girls gets to work together and they become friends, and all in all, it's just perfect. And then we get to the giant fight when the girls don't really make it for the fight with the army, so we have to make do without, which means we have these 4 squares. That reminds me of something awesome in this book. Let's see if we can find it. So we have this giant army, and they know they could technically just stay safe behind walls, but then they wouldn't be attacked, and then they would be starved out, or the person, like Arisaka I think it's called, will just claim that it's an imposter and the emperor's dead. Like, they would be stuck and they would lose, and that is a great way of realizing it. Is it here? No, not here. So they have to move outside of the castle in order to bait him into attacking, and they do that. So they build these hedgehogs, which is just awesome tank thingies that they use to like anti-tank. I know they don't have tanks here, but that's what they are. Like, imagine World War II anti-tank things. And in general, they then have these 4 centurions fighting, and they're not winning, but they're not losing. Where the frick is that? Oh, there it is. And so there we go. No. Oh yeah. There we go. So let's just we do get like a map of the area, and so up here we have the castle place thing, and then down here we have these 4 centurions, and that they call Gocho, which means 50. We have the hedgehog, which are just these star-shaped thingies. And then we have the enemy army here and the enemy camp. So they fight like this. And then at one point, the allies come from here, and then they're like, oh, we're winning. But then the enemy gets allies, and we're losing now. And that's when the emperor steps in, calling for a halt. Kind of like a white flag, but they use a green thing. And it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit contrived, but in reality what's going on is everyone realizes, oh shit, it's the actual emperor, not an imposter as we were told. And he's just here trying to make everything work out. So of course the enemy ally Yamada goes, I'm not gonna fight against the emperor anymore, because it's the true emperor, it's not an imposter. I thought it was the imposter. And yeah, that's basically how the thing ends. And then it ends up with Horace and Evelyn getting engaged and everyone celebrating. And that's this book. Alright, let's conclude a little on this. To conclude on this is my favorite book. I've blasted through it. I think it is the best in the series. I think it shows everything good about Flanagan's writing. He highlights all the best characters. I do have my gripes. I think the way they solved the war part is a little contrived. I think the role George plays is way too small. I would have liked for him to have a bigger role, since we're getting everyone in. It's kind of the same thing I have with Jenny. They're just kind of there. I wish they would have more urgency in the main adventures. I don't know. Or just have more side things. Other than that, I think it's good. I think the book shows off all the best part. It highlights that both girls and boys can be important. It doesn't shy away from giving women, because this is of course mainly written to boys, but not shying away from giving the female characters like Evelyn and Alice all the like important roles. Like they are not just damsels in distress. And even when that is highlighted that Alice at one point was, and she's like, never again. I need to be able to defend myself. I need to be able to be on my own and be fine. I think this is the best book. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. I wish we had the horses and the dog, as always. Next on, we're gonna continue with Gals Christian's saga of Sigurd. So, look out for that. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.